Most people think they destroy their lives in one big moment. One mistake, one bad decision, one dramatic failure. But that's not how it usually happens. Most people sabotage their lives quietly, slowly, subtly, almost invisibly. And the most dangerous part is this: they don't even realize they're doing it. Self-sabotage doesn't show up when everything is falling apart. It shows up when things start to improve, when peace begins to return, when healing starts, when opportunity appears, when growth is required. That's when many people hesitate. They delay, they distract themselves, they pull back, they numb out, they quit just before things change. Not because they are lazy, not because they are weak, not because they don't want better, but because something deep inside them panics. And today, I want to tell you the truth about self-sabotage, because there is not one person listening to this who has never done it. Not one. Self-sabotage is not a personality flaw. It is not proof that you're broken. It is proof that your mind has been trained for familiarity, not freedom. Your mind's primary job is not to make you happy. It is not to make you successful. It is to keep you safe. And here is where the problem begins. Your mind defines safe as what is familiar, not what is healthy, not what is good for you, not what God is calling you into. Familiar. So even if your old patterns were painful, even if they kept you stuck, even if they robbed you of joy, if they are familiar, your mind will cling to them. This is why people return to relationships that hurt them. This is why people leave opportunities that stretch them. This is why people self-sabotage success just before it fully arrives. Because success demands change, and change threatens familiarity. Now listen closely. This is not something to shame yourself for. This is something to understand. Because once you understand it, you can break it. Most self-sabotage happens at the level of identity. You will never consistently live beyond the image you hold of yourself. Your subconscious mind works day and night to keep your life aligned with what you believe you deserve. Not what you say you want, what you believe you deserve. So if deep down you believe you are unworthy, undeserving, too broken, or not the kind of person who gets good things, you will unconsciously push away anything that challenges that belief. You'll procrastinate, you'll lose focus, you'll create chaos right when things settle. You'll talk yourself out of opportunities, and then you'll sit there thinking, why do I always do this? But your mind knows. It's trying to protect the identity you've been living from, even if that identity is based on lies. And here's the part that sets people free. You do not sabotage your life because you don't want better. You sabotage your life because better requires you to become someone new. And becoming someone new feels unsafe to the old version of you. So the old version fights back. It whispers, don't change. Stay here. This is too much. You'll fail anyway. But that voice is not truth. It's fear disguised as protection. And this is where faith changes everything. Because God never calls you to remain who you were. He calls you to become who you were created to be. And becoming always feels uncomfortable at first. Growth stretches you. Growth exposes you. Growth requires discipline. Growth requires consistency. And your old self will resist that, not because growth is wrong, but because growth is unfamiliar. Now hear this carefully. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. Discomfort is often a sign that something is working. When fear rises as you grow, when resistance shows up as you step forward, that is not a cue to stop. That is often confirmation that you are leaving old territory. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you." God already knew growth would feel overwhelming. That's why He promised His presence. That's why He promised strength. That's why He promised help. You were never meant to do this alone. Now let's talk about how self-sabotage actually shows up day to day, because it's rarely obvious. Self-sabotage can look like procrastination. You know exactly what you need to do, but suddenly everything else becomes more important. It can look like distraction. You finally sit down to focus, and your phone, your thoughts, your worries, all compete for attention. It can look like quitting too early. You start strong, but disappear right before progress shows. It can look like numbing, scrolling endlessly, overeating, overworking, avoiding silence. It can look like negative self-talk. "I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready yet. Who do I think I am?" And here's the painful part. Many people pray for change, but then resist the very process God is using to shape them. They pray for growth, but sabotage the discipline growth requires, because discipline feels uncomfortable at first. But discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your future from your old patterns. It protects your calling from your comfort zone. It protects your healing from your fear. Now let me tell you something important. You don't break self-sabotage by trying harder. You break it by becoming aware, because awareness creates choice, and choice creates change. The moment you recognize the pattern, the moment you say, "This is self-sabotage," you regain power. Because you can't change what you don't see, but once you see it, you can interrupt it. You can pause, you can breathe, you can say, "I'm not going back. I'm not shrinking. I'm not sabotaging what God is building in me." This is what Scripture means when it says in 2 Corinthians 10:5, "We take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ." Not every thought deserves your agreement. Not every feeling deserves control. Not every impulse deserves obedience. Just because fear shows up does not mean it gets the final word. You are allowed to lead your mind. You are allowed to choose growth over comfort. And this is where consistency becomes powerful. The more you show up, the safer growth becomes. The more you follow through, the less fear controls you. The more you stay, the more your identity shifts. Your nervous system calms, your confidence builds, your mind rewires. Because the subconscious learns through repetition. This is why discipline matters. Discipline is how you teach your mind that growth is safe, that success is safe, that peace is safe. And over time, what once felt terrifying becomes normal. This is transformation. Not overnight, but faithfully. Now I want to speak directly to the person who feels discouraged, the one who keeps thinking, "I've tried before. I always mess it up. I never follow through." Listen to me. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. Every time you noticed the pattern, every time you became aware, every time you chose differently, you were already growing. God is not counting your failures. He is shaping your character. Philippians 1:6 says, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." God does not abandon what He starts. If you feel the pull to grow, that desire didn't come from nowhere. It came from Him. So when self-sabotage tries to pull you back, remember this: you are not who you were. You are becoming who God designed you to be. And becoming requires courage. It requires patience. It requires faith. But you are not alone. God is with you. God is strengthening you. God is guiding you. And every time you choose growth over familiarity, you step closer to freedom. So today, make one decision, not 10, not a lifetime promise. One decision. The next time you feel the urge to sabotage, pause, name it, and choose alignment. Choose faith over fear. Choose growth over comfort. Choose obedience over impulse. Choose God over the old identity. Because the moment you stop sabotaging, the moment you stop shrinking, the moment you stop retreating, your life begins to expand. And if this message spoke to you, type, "I choose growth" in the comments. And if you're ready to keep becoming who God created you to be, subscribe to Elevate. Because you are not broken, you are becoming.